For years, Hollywood sold people a dream. Famous stars smiling on camera, talking about kindness, love, and positivity. But behind the scenes, some former insiders now claim there was a much darker side to that world. One of the loudest voices speaking out lately has been Rosie O'Donnell. After decades in Hollywood, Rosie says she saw firsthand how fame and power changed the people around her, including her former friend Ellen DeGeneres. In a candid moment, Rosie admitted that on her own show, she always knew who the mystery guest was going to be. She simply acted surprised because, as she put it, she wasn't good at real surprises and felt she could perform the reaction better that way. But one particular mystery guest left a lasting mark, and not a good one. According to Rosie, a producer was in the green room speaking with Bill Cosby, telling him that Rosie wouldn't know it was him. His response was deeply unsettling. He suggested that all she'd have to do was touch his hand and she'd recognize him. Rosie started to cry just recounting it. The history between Rosie and Ellen stretches back decades. The two were once close, both rising together as major television personalities. But Rosie says the friendship shifted after Ellen became one of the biggest names in daytime TV. Rosie had been supportive when Ellen publicly came out as gay, yet that support, she claims, went unacknowledged. The moment that hurt most came during a Larry King interview. Rosie and her partner Kelly were watching from bed when King asked Ellen whatever happened to Rosie O'Donnell. Ellen's answer was simple and cold. She said she didn't know Rosie, that they weren't friends. For Rosie, it was one of the most painful moments she had ever experienced. Over the years, internet rumors and conspiracy theories began drawing connections between Ellen and disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein and his private island. After relocating to Ireland, Rosie shared a social media post that included a photo of Epstein. Many online saw it as a signal that she was ready to speak more openly about powerful people in Epstein's circle. Around the same time, former employees and guests began revisiting claims about the gap between Ellen's public image and what they said they witnessed behind the scenes. Critics argued that the cheerful, "be kind" message attached to her talk show didn't match stories from former staff describing a toxic workplace. For years, Ellen had danced with guests, given away gifts, and promoted positivity to millions. But once the workplace allegations surfaced, people started asking whether her on-screen personality reflected who she really was. One moment that especially captured online attention involved a child actor who claimed he witnessed Ellen do something that defied human biology. At the time, he was a child prodigy chess player who had appeared as a guest on her show. He alleged that after a segment, on his way back to his dressing room, he noticed Ellen's door slightly open. When he glanced inside, he claims he saw her eating a rotisserie chicken and then watched as she opened her jaw impossibly wide, dislocating it to fit the entire chicken into her mouth in a single bite. According to his account, she then turned and looked directly at him and made a hissing sound. He ran to find his mother, though she didn't believe him. Around the same time, separate conspiracy theories were spreading online involving the furniture retailer Wayfair. Viral posts claimed that expensive household items listed on the site, cabinets and chairs priced in the thousands, were connected to missing children because certain product names matched the names of real missing kids. One case that drew particular attention involved a young girl named Crystal who had gone missing from South Central Los Angeles in 1994. Her cousin claimed there was an $8,000 lamp listed on Wayfair under a name matching Crystal's. Determined to find answers after years of the case sitting cold, the cousin tried logging into her own Wayfair account to investigate, only to find her credentials suddenly listed as invalid, despite having used them recently without issue. No verified evidence ever confirmed these accusations, but the theories continued spreading rapidly online and eventually looped back to Ellen, with some conspiracy communities drawing connections between her and those claims. Adding further fuel to the fire, attention shifted to Pam Bondi's deposition before the House Oversight Committee as part of Congress's ongoing investigation into how the Justice Department handled the release of the Epstein files. Bondi had faced serious criticism for her role overseeing that release, which was widely seen as a key reason President Trump had pushed her out of the position. The deposition had been a long time coming. She had originally been subpoenaed to appear in April, and the DOJ had initially argued she no longer needed to testify after leaving the role. When she finally did appear, she was not placed under oath. Epstein survivor Marina Lerda, who says she was just 14 years old when she first met Epstein and was identified as minor victim 1 in his 2019 federal indictment, expressed cautious frustration. She was grateful for the step forward, but made clear that testifying under oath would have been far more meaningful, especially given what she described as a pattern of people committing crimes with no accountability to follow. According to critics, the reason so few people spoke out against Ellen sooner comes down to one thing: fear. In Hollywood, many believe that crossing someone with enough power can end careers, close doors, and lead to being quietly blacklisted. Those who have since come forward say their hands were tied while Ellen's show was still generating money. The way it worked, as described by some insiders, was straightforward. If you had Ellen in your project, you got her promotional reach. If you didn't play along, you didn't. People were coming forward only after the show was canceled, finally feeling safe enough to talk. Behind the scenes, the emotional toll may have run even deeper. Stephen "Twitch" Boss, Ellen's longtime DJ and one of her most visible supporters, had publicly defended her when the workplace scandal first broke. Reports later suggested he felt pressure to do so publicly during one of the worst crises of her career. Around the same period, renewed attention also turned to actress and Hetchy, who had previously dated Ellen during the late 1990s, and passed away in a car accident in 2022, but internet rumors claimed she had been developing a documentary connected to her experiences in Hollywood before her death. Old interviews between the two began circulating again online. In one clip discussing their breakup, and explained that she and Ellen had simply wanted different things, that Ellen's goal had been wealth and status, while hers was to find love. She described their paths diverging so far that there was no way for them to meet in the middle. And in another moment, reflecting on just how much wealth Ellen had accumulated while others struggled, and couldn't help but note the irony. That someone who built a brand around kindness was sitting on an enormous fortune while the people she had wronged moved on with far less. Those claims remain heavily debated and are largely based on speculation. But they have continued to fuel online theories about Ellen's connections, her influence, and who she really was behind the persona she presented to the world for so many years. Do you think she was ever genuinely the person she appeared to be on television? And how long do you think this may have been going on? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you found this video worth watching, a like and subscribe goes a long way.